And we've got a really cool, having a conversation with our next guest actually just coming. Let me go ahead and just actually go right to him because we were conversing before getting into the opening there. It's Tulane Patterson. He is with Generation Solutions. And Generation Solutions is a company that has a slogan that I like a lot. What is that?
There's no place like home.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is that seniors want to stay at home. They don't want to go to a nursing home, and no one is really making it easy for them to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've taken the concept of staying at home and tried to make it easy for people. One phone call, and they can get all the services or network to the services to help them stay at home.
I know my regular viewers know that I've referred many times to my elderly mother and my in-laws, 70s and 80s, and they are at that point where they don't want to give up their homes. Mm-hmm. My in-laws in particular, it's the same home they raised their family in. They've been in this home, I think, over 50 years. But they're getting to the point where it might even be bordering on not being safe for them. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people have those same kind of questions. And what kind of questions, as a sibling, looking at the options for the parents, should we be asking about?
You know, that's a good question because there's a point when it's not safe for someone to stay at home. And what we do, and we will do this for families for free if they ask us to, we will go in and do two things. Get to know the person themselves and look at the home environment because you can learn a lot from both. One is do they dress the same? Is their behavior the same? Are they more forgetful? Are they less social? You know, those are the kind of things that children notice over a period of time and their friends notice. But then you also get some clues by looking at the home. Is it dirtier than it used to be? Is the refrigerator full of old food that hasn't been eaten? And then one of the clues is, of course, the medicine cabinet. Are there a lot of medicines that they have not been taking, a lot of new medicines? And you can read the pill boxes, and some of them say don't take with, and then look over there, and there's that's there. Right. So there are lots of little clues that can help, and families know when mom's changing. Mm-hmm. And so there's no one better than a sibling or someone who's close to them to really go in and check this out. But we can do that as well as professionals.
So when you're looking at those prescriptions, obviously you might look at the date that it was issued, okay, and it's got 30 capsules for a month, and it's been 3 weeks into that month, there's still 25 capsules in there.
Yeah. Or it's 30 capsules for a month, and it's 3 days into it, and there's only 10 capsules.
Yeah.
You know, there's some basic things about healthy aging. Exercise. Same things for you and I. Exercise, good eating, good sleep, good socialization, and taking your medicines, which means proper and regular visit to the doctor, and then doing what the doctor says. Yeah. And one of the things that our nurses will do is they will come because, you know, you might go to the heart doctor over here and your orthopedic surgeon over here and then your regular doctor, and they may give you medicines that they don't know what everybody's given. And one of the things our nurses can do for folks is come in and look at their whole their whole medical regime and say, okay, you know, this is crossing over here and here. There's just a lot of services out there that are not that expensive that are available to families to get help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the most often question asked of you by the senior citizens themselves?
They're mostly concerned with losing independence. They've lived in this house for 60 years. They've done everything by themselves. They're concerned about Alzheimer's disease, and frankly, I think most everybody I talk to, whether they're 30 or 80, thinks they have dementia. But they're mostly concerned about losing independence. And if you want to find out how independent they are, ask them if they want to give up their driver's license. Yeah. Even if they haven't driven in 5 years, they do not want to give that up. Independence is huge for them. So you've got to work with them to help them understand that you're helping them stay independent. By losing some independence, you're giving them the ability to keep most of it. You know?
I want to go to a commercial break, Tulane, and come back and continue this conversation.
Great.
You're watching Living in the Heart of Virginia. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Living in the Heart of Virginia. You may have seen within the last couple of weeks or so, we had an opportunity to go out and visit the home of one of Generation Solutions' clients. We're going to continue that today with a conversation with
the Reverend Lowell Sykes.
Let's take a look at that. He is talking about a piece of equipment that he uses to care for his invalid wife.
Right. This is a lift that pulls my Barbara into a standing position and holds her there. This is a vest that we put on her that fits tight around her, and then it hooks into this. and then you raise it, so she's in a seating position when it's low. You raise it up, and her feet are on this platform.
So she's facing into this.
Yes, she faces into it, right. Okay. And then get her up as high as it'll go. And she's in a standing position, and that way I could just turn this around and sit her down on her bed in order to put her to bed. Then I have to swing her legs around because she can't do that herself either.
And you would also use this to move into to the commode, or also into the seated position in the shower.
Yes. Yeah. And this without this, really, I don't think I could take care of her at home. Yeah. But with this, it greatly simplifies it.
Yeah. Tell me, if you will, a little bit, because Generation Solutions, when they came in with this equipment, they actually gave you some very good suggestions on how to actually use the equipment and make the task of assisting your wife, moving your wife, a little bit easier.
They did. On this hospital bed that's behind me, when they brought that, they said, let gravity work for you. And when you're putting her in bed, have it as low as it'll go, so that you're getting her down into bed. When you're getting her out of bed into her wheelchair, have it as high as it'll go, and that way just swinging her down to the chair works very well, and you don't have to carry all that weight on your back. And it works.
I imagine this is probably not a procedure that takes a great deal of time.
No, it doesn't. It works very well, and also when she's on the toilet, this holds her on it. So because she's got this on, so she can't possibly fall off. Before we got this, she did fall off a couple times, even though I was standing right there. We went to the floor together one time, and that was before we had this.
And so this is actually not just a tool of convenience. This is actually a safety device, because falls for elderly can be really traumatic.
It's very, very good. And then there's the other lift in the other room that also helps in there.
One of the things you mentioned in the previous conversation with us is that Barbara's skin is extremely good condition for a woman of her condition and her age. I would imagine the ability to move her around, to change her position, to take her to the shower regularly, that kind of stuff, is probably helping that.
It certainly does, because a person who's just left in bed all the time, even if they are turned regularly, their skin tends to break down, especially when they start not eating very well, and then they're malnourished and their skin breaks down worse and more quickly. But her skin is in very good condition, because we do use these to move her around, and we also have something else that came with the bed. This fits over the mattress, and it changes pressure. These are bubbles. The air pressure comes up, and this works by a computer, and stays for 2 minutes, and then different air bubbles come up. So the pressure is changing on her skin regularly. It keeps her from getting skin sores.
And
pressure sores.
And I'd imagine this is, for us who can move at will, we might be lying in bed and feel a little discomfort.
You just move naturally.
We just move
but
or scooch around a little bit. She can't, so this does this for her.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, people normally, when they're sleeping and are, you move during your sleep a lot just for that reason. Yeah. But she can no longer do that.
Generation Solutions is at 434-455-6500 in Roanoke, 540-776-3622. It is generationsolutions.net. From living better to turning back time by decreasing the signs of aging. That's next on Living in the Heart of Virginia.